Gary, Crystal, Lorna, War Criminal, Cindy, Lulu. Hello there, Denise, Amy C. Hello, everybody. Well, everybody's starting to slide in. Brian Barber's got his new little jiffy in the studio. Hello there, everybody. How are y'all doing there? Rosemary. Nice to see everybody tuning in to another edition. So, Tracy, what's going on with you, kind sir?
Hey, just enjoying a nice, relaxing week.
Yeah, isn't that the truth? So, welcome, everybody. A round of applause. Nice to see everybody tuning in. So, yeah, welcome, everybody. So, hello there. All right. So, what do we got going on tonight?
We have Onae Shinn. She is a tarot reader, a psychic, medium, and a pastor. And I think that's how I pronounce her name. So I apologize if I pronounced it wrong.
All right.
Bring her on and let her talk about herself.
All right. Welcome. Come on down. How you doing there?
Hi. Thank you for having me. Oh, my gosh.
Absolutely.
So, but yeah, my name's Onae. And it's for the Banshee. It's Irish mythology.
So, interesting. Yeah. So tell us all about yourself.
Well, I'm a psychic medium. I was kind of born this way, and a tarot card reader. I was raised in a family of tarot card readers. And so I just kind of grew up this way. And I just grew up paranormal. So just born this way. And so I used to live back east, New England area, Connecticut, New York area. But I currently live in Arizona. And but I just grew up with a family that was, into, reading tarot cards. We're all intuitive in some form. I just happen to get the lion's share of the abilities, so I get to talk to those that have crossed over, and I use my gifts for good, in the energy of love and light, and I like to give, as with that, I became a minister as well, and I used to be the head pastor of a church here in Tucson, which I just moved from Tucson. I just came from Tucson. I drove to Tucson, and I was just driving back, But yeah, I live here in Arizona, and I'm loving the sun. I'm a desert rat, and I've got 3 beautiful children and 2 beautiful grandchildren that I adore. And basically, I've been in the paranormal world, just traveling around, doing events. So I'm helping those that I can.
Awesome. Well, welcome. Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So you said you're raised with in a family of readers.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you don't mind, tell us what was that like growing up? I mean, I don't know if you recall. You're probably too young to recall the first time you saw it, but what happened that you clicked with it and you realized, hey, this is what I should be doing. Then also, what did your friends think growing up?
Right.
The fun thing is I remember. Oh my gosh, I was itty bitty. I was a toddler when I kind of remember just being surrounded by this stuff, because my father was a master astrologer. So it was like, there's all kinds of kind of woo-woo stuff and all over my family. I remember I was must have been 5 years old, if that. And my aunt, was looking around. Because we always had the tarot cards on the kitchen table. So just like I raised my children, I was raised in that tradition as well. And with that, I remember my aunt going, "Oh, I see a shopping mall," and then we were all zooming around, my sisters, my cousins, and I were all looking at the cards going, where's the shopping mall? And my aunt gave me this one lesson then, and it stuck with me the rest of my whole life. She said, "It's here. You just these are just tools to help you tune into your spirit guides and guardian angels that are giving you the messages to relay to those that need to hear messages." And so that's kind of stayed with me my whole life. And I learned to just kind of trust that, and especially as long as I'm in the energy of love. But yeah, I remember I was little, it was always, my aunt was, doing the percolator with the coffee and, baking the bread pudding. So I just remember all the smells and then just the home coziness of having, tarot card readers. And it was just a normal thing. Just kind of you playing cards or Uno or something growing up. But we did it with tarot cards. And so that was for as far as the tarot cards. I've been seeing shadow figures and spirits and stuff and hearing things since I was really little. I mean, and I have this memory ability where I always thought it was normal, but I just recently, past few years, learned it wasn't a normal thing. But my memories are not of me like doing things right here and as in the first person. I'm always like up, up above, like I astral travel or something. I'm out of body. My memories are always of me looking down at myself, doing things and talking to others that aren't even there. So I've always had this ability to do that, and then also remote view. And so that's been something since I've been, gosh, I think even a toddler, because I remember those memories. I must have been like 2 years old, if that, when I remember that was my first memory for that.
Yeah.
And then, but as far as my school, um, even though I'm doing all this stuff, I was raised in a Catholic school with the nuns.
Oh, but that was interesting.
It was. You knew you learned who you could talk to and who you can't, and who you can bring home with you and who you can't. So, but you'd be amazed at what those Catholic school girls can do.
Yeah, I went to a Catholic school. So that would, yeah, like Grizz said, that'd be interesting. Did you ever do any of this stuff at school that the nuns found out or anything? Just curious.
No, I learned to keep my mouth shut. You know who to talk to and who you can't talk to, and so I did learn that. That's survival 101.
Yeah, I can see him having like a Mother's Day to come in and, what does your mom do? And she whips out the cards, and it gives them a reading or something.
Yeah, I was already in trouble enough as it was. I didn't need to add that to it.
Yeah, no, I hear that. So you started talking. You brought up shadow figures and other things, and so paranormal wise, obviously tarot is a part of paranormal as well, and medium definitely too. So the shadow figures, when did you said when early on you started seeing? Did you ever see any that you were like 100% confident that's a shadow figure? That's weird. And what did you do the first time you saw it, or that you remember seeing it?
Well, I remember seeing them when I was really little. And it was just something you just saw. It was kind of scary. The older I got, the more scared I got of it. And then when I was also raised in a spiritual metaphysical church from 17 on, which helped me with the things that my own family didn't know about, and recognize things and learn about things. And so I learned more about myself when I was 17, 18, 19, and then 20. Those years, those teens up to my 20s, I learned that these shadow figures were definitely real, that I was able to see things that other people weren't able to see. And so, but they were when they're talking to you, it's a little frightening. But then once you are able to grasp like what it is exactly, and then you can take control and then learn to just talk to it. Yeah, it was kind of and you learned who you could and couldn't talk to about it. So, and actually Mike Ricksecker was one of the first people outside of my family that I was able to communicate with about it and have a conversation about seeing shadow figures. So, but they would show up everywhere for me. I just, and I always thought, people are always like, oh, if this is a haunted house or that's everywhere I lived was haunted for me. Because apparently I learned that that's what mediums do. We bring the spirits with us wherever we go. So.
Yeah, very interesting. So how was it growing up with knowing things about people around you?
I would freak people out. I didn't have, I never really fit in anywhere. And people would, they could sometimes, I would get a really nice reaction from people and thanking them. They'd be thanking me for their messages, or just the advice, because no one knew it was like messages. It was more of advice or, oh, thank you. Just kind of a knowing, because you don't want to freak people out. You learn not to freak people out. So, but even though I did it anyway.
Right.
But yeah, but I was always able to, you just kind of get a peaceful feeling, and then something says to you, just to tell them this. And then you go and you talk to the person and you tell them what they need to hear. And either they break down and cry or they get kind of weirded out. So you kind of learn to kind of keep quiet for the most part, and just wait for people to kind of, you gently bring things up like, well, hey, I kind of got this feeling, or, I had this thought, so, but, and it would help people. I started to notice that when I would give messages to people, it was helping them. And you could see the relief in their face a lot. And that was when I started to go, okay, this is good stuff. You know, I'm doing good things here. And so I wasn't afraid of it anymore.
Have you ever just like, you know, I'm tired of you not telling me the truth, and you're just like, no, this is what it is, and just told them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do that now. I'm a little bit more confident, like, you know, because I always like to leave people to their own devices and their own beliefs. You know, you can only lead a horse to water. You know, you can't make
Right.
it drink. So people are, when you plant a little mustard seed of a message, then either they're going to accept it, or, you know, maybe they will later on, or they don't want to admit it. Because even now, it's just like, all right, here, this is your message. Especially when I'm doing galleries, it's like, this is your message. It's for you. I know it's for you. And then people they'll deny it right up until the very end. And then at the end of the event, they'll be like, you know what, that was for me. And thank you so much. And it's like, yeah.
Yeah. Because I was doing one, and and the person was like, no, 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 no. And I was like, I almost said, well, how about this? Why don't you quit cheating on your husband? I almost said that on the air. And I was like, no, I'm not going to say that. And the girl I was with is like, Grizzly, don't you dare. And she knew I had that look. And I'm like, girl, you know, I know, because I gave you enough hints during the whole read. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, and I was like, I didn't do it, but you know how it is, right? And but I have a couple people that came back to me, are like, you were right. I just didn't want to admit it, but yes.
Yep.
So.
And I like to call it psychic amnesia that they get, because it's like and it'll be sometimes it'll be something completely obvious, like, you know, like I've given messages at events, and it's like, okay, your uncle so and so is here, and he said, you know, the key to the safe is in the green vase next to the front door, you know, and they'll be like, nope, I don't have an uncle. Nope, I don't have a door. No, I don't have a green vase. And it's just like, really? Okay. And then they cut home, they're like, oh my gosh, there's the door, there's the green vase, there's, you know, oh yeah, you're right, I do have an uncle, blah blah blah, you know. And they call me up or message me later, and you're like, yeah, thanks, you know.
Right.
So, but it's fun, you know, and you learn all about people, and how, you know, who's more open to it or who's resistant to it. And then when you find that they're resistant, you can be like, you know, okay, well, when you're ready to accept the message, you know, there it is.
Right.
Yeah, you don't fight them anymore. It's just like, nah, whatever. You know,
right.
if you want your message, you'll accept it.
I think people, including myself, are like not afraid of doing it, are just kind of like, don't really want to know. Because, you know, I don't want to know. So that leads me to a question I'm sure other people would want to know too, is an answer to is, you know, what if have you ever gotten something that was just, you're reading and it's just so bad that you just can't tell that person what it is? Have you ever had that at all?
I do get those feelings. But what I do before I go on, you know, into a reading is I surround myself with a white light of protection, and I only ask for positive energy and healing messages. So if, you know, I can, there's times when I'll taste blood, or I'll see blood, you know, and negative things, and my stomach will give me a message. But, you know, you can, if you word it in such a way, in a gentle way, they might be willing to accept the message. And if you're feeling like they're resistant, you just kind of leave it, you know. And so you know, because I'm not there to like traumatize people. I'm only here for like giving, you know, healing messages. And for both, you know, the people here on this side of the veil, and also the other side of the veil. So I don't like to frighten people. I've learned you don't frighten people. It kind of wigs them out. And you never know what you're going to expect, you know, how they're going to react too. So you just kind of like, when something negatively, because even if you kind of go, so I've had readings where I like laid out the cards, and then I'll be like, you know, I'll just gather them back up. Let's shuffle again. Let's focus on something, you know, let's have a specific focus. How's that? And then they get wigged out, like, oh my God, you saw something horrible. It's like, well, no, there was just a little warning about this, that, or the other. You know, do you want to hear about it? I can explain it to you, what I saw, and then they'll be maybe a little bit more open. But a lot of people do get scared, so, because they don't want to know sometimes.
So to continue on with that question then, so say that you do see something, but you you're like you said, you're asking for positive vibes and all that stuff. But there you get that feeling and all that. Have you ever had that feeling and then you find out a week, month, however long it takes later that something did happen to that person that you thought might happen?
Um, yeah, sometimes that does happen, but I do tell people, I give them like, hey, you need to watch out for this.
Oh,
This is
good.
a warning for you to pay attention to if you're not feeling good, or, listen for the signs, listen to your intuition. It's going to guide you as to what you need to do with these things. Because I don't want to frighten people and like say, just because people, they get wigged out, because you have to take responsibility for your words, because people will hang on to every word you say, and they run with it, because you can't control how they're accepting the message. And so you have to do it, well, I do it gently, and or I try to. Sometimes I don't sugarcoat, if it's like, hey buddy, if you don't quit this, eating or drinking or whatever this is you're doing, you're going to have issues. So, here's your warning, but I don't like to talk about death. I'll give a warning of like, hey, you need to kind of, pay attention to your health, maybe go to the doctor and have that doctor explain, because I'm not a doctor, I'm not a lawyer, but I'm seeing something and feeling something here that maybe you should go to your doctor and have some things checked out. And and listen to your intuition, because your intuition is telling you, you're just blocking it. So I kind of leave it up to them to be responsible for themselves with these messages, because people will, they'll grab onto those words and they take it like they take it as gospel basically. And you're just like, whoa.
Yeah, yes, they do. And I tell you, one of the things that I harp about is the people on TikTok that don't have no business reading cards. And they give these readings for like 25, 50 bucks, whatnot. Is my husband cheating on me? Yes. And I'm like, what the hell? You don't know. And next thing you know, they cause a divorce. And it's like,
Yes.
whoa. Have you ever seen them out there?
Yes, I have.
It's like, what are you doing?
Yep.
And it's like crazy.
Yep. Yeah. No, you have to like tell people to like, well, are you feeling this? Is this why you're coming to me? Maybe you should really listen to your intuition on this one, because because I don't like to encourage divorce or anything like that. But if, are you in this, a harmful situation? Is this, maybe you need to get some help. Maybe you should, if you're asking me, maybe you should ask your spouse,
Right,
I'm
right.
the wrong person to be asking here. I can tell you, but I really feel like this is something that you should be asking your spouse. It's all about communication. And if you're not having communication, then there's a problem there, obviously. So you need to start working on that, on communication and communicating what you're feeling. And if that's an issue for you guys, then obviously your marriage has trouble and maybe you should go to counseling. So.
Well, it's kind of sad it gets to that point with couples, though, they should already know that without having to get it told to them by someone else.
Yeah.
Oh, Tracy, there's people on TikTok will charge you $2 for a yes or no question. And they got this little wooden device and it's controlled by a magnet, and you flip it and and they'll take that as gospel. And it's just like, what the heck?
Yes. Yep. Yeah. And that's why you have to be, you have to like really careful with what you're saying and how you're saying it, because that's what they do. They're there and they really take it to like the next level on you sometimes. I had a client once that, thank God it turned out good. But I had told her, I'm like, hey, she's like, oh, am I going to get this, am I going to start this business? Is it going to be successful? And I said, yes, I feel like this, this business that when you start it, it will be a success. Now there's different, degrees of success. For some people, success might be, like being able to make $100 extra a week. And then some people might think, oh, $1 million in a week or something, depending upon the person. So when I say, oh yeah, it looks successful for you, it looks like it's going to be a positive thing. The woman freaking quit her job the next day and tried to open up the business. And I was like, oh my God, I'm like, can you get your job back? I'm like, I don't want you. I am not responsible for you living in a cardboard box. No freaking way.
Wow.
I'm like, get your job back. And she's like, no. She's like, I've already been planning everything. And I put a big chunk of money aside for me to be able to retire so that I could work on my passion. And I'm like, okay, but it's, I am not responsible for, I said, it looked successful. I didn't say quit your job and, and move forward with, she didn't even start anything. It was just an idea. At least I thought so. She didn't communicate how prepared she was for it. But yeah, I was like, whoa. That's when I really learned how people really can, you got to watch out what you say and make sure you really back it up with like, now, as long as you keep your job and financially, make sure you're financially secure as you build this, you have to learn, because everybody, there's a sign for everything. There's a warning for everything. There's a reason for everything. So it's like, because everyone's like, why is this a silly warning? Well, yeah, because that shit happens. And that's why someone must have done something like that to have a warning. So you have to learn how to like word things and, give messages because they really do hang on your word, and it could ruin lives. It really can.
Yeah, definitely. I for one haven't had a reading, or I think maybe one person did something on one of these podcasts that we had done, and interesting stuff. I'm just not game for it, I guess. I just don't want to know.
And that's perfectly fine. I read my cards almost every day. In my family, we grew up with tarot every day. But there's times when you just kind of go, you know what, let me just live my life. Because I have clients that want to come all the time and get their cards read all the time, or just even have psychic messages. But it gets to the point with some of them that you have to like, no, why don't you wait a month? Let's wait a little bit, because otherwise they don't make a decision without checking with me first. And it's like, no, you really need to live your life, and make decisions on your own as well and experience life. These are great. It's great to have, warnings or, insight into something. If you're on the right path, then that's great. But you can't be a tedious every decision that you need to make, and you won't live your life. And that's what we're here for. Our souls are here to learn lessons and experience, and you can't keep doing that if you're dependent on somebody else or something to give you and guide you constantly.
So one thing I noticed, you had said, you grew up with it, and of course now you pass it on to your kids. So what is have you seen a difference, because you're talking different generations? So back when you were doing this, it was taboo when you were a kid, I'm assuming, for the most part, right?
Yeah. Especially
what do you see? What do you see? Yeah, well, exactly. So what do you see now? Do you see like their friends? Are they into it, or they think it's, what do they think with your kids' friends now with a different generation?
Depending upon where I did put my kids in a Christian-based church in the beginning. So it was something that they learned as well as I did as a young kid, to keep your mouth shut unless you know who you can talk to, because you don't want to frighten people again. And because it's not we're not doing anything bad. We are, if you read 1 Corinthians chapter 12, the whole chapter, it's about people like me and, similar people like me. So about being able to, it's a gift from God. That's how I believe. And it's in 1 Corinthians chapter 12, and people try to say, oh no, it's not against the Bible. No, it's not. It's actually in the Bible, so, but people they don't teach that in the churches. So, or at least not every church, but as they got older in the high schools and the public schools, I've noticed that their friends, the circle got a little bit bigger and more accepting. And with social media, it's a little bit more out there and open and accepting of it as well. So it was like, where it was me growing up, it was like a hush hush with my peers, but with my children, their friends thought it was cool. So it was just, but my kids were also used to it, and they knew, and they could bring their friends. They were comfortable bringing their friends home to see what we do. And actually a lot of friends actually ask for readings a lot of the time. So, but it's more accepted now. It's more open and socially acceptable.
Yeah, I say, social media is like the biggest thing that, to me anyway, that helped the paranormal community out so much, because it's in everybody's, lack of better words, it's in everybody's face now. I mean, it's the people that used to hide out and, like we did, or you and me, because when we were younger, now they don't have to. It's more acceptable, like you said.
Yeah.
So
I have a question, and I'm not trying to put you on the spot. Would you be willing to do a sample reading on one of somebody in the audience?
Of course, yes, I would love to.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, pick a number 000 or 36. I'll get the wheel out. 000 36. I'll get the wheel out. Y'all pick the number. You know what I'm getting out. And I will get my camera set up. Let me get my ball. Let me get my camera. All right. You're all lucky she's even entertaining this. Let me turn my camera on here. But I think the numbers are going to start to fly here.
Yep,
Tracy's like, what? Let's see here. Let me turn my camera on. Let's see here. Extra camera. All right, here. And it's turning on. Da, 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 da. All right, here. And let's present it and share. And it should come up. Let me hit this here. And pow. All right, camera's up. And let's see, 00036. All right, I'll start clicking on it. All right, here we got Lorna 7, Gary 00, Rosemary 21, Sunny 26, Amy 6, Scott 23, Mort 26, Brian Barber 17, Penny Van 11, 13, Paranormal Pixie Val 24, Cindy 11, Cheyenne 18, Joanne 15, Leanna number 6, Gene Hudson 14, Jason 26, and Sonny's like yippee. In Kentucky we go yeet yeet. That's what we do, Sherry. And Crystal 27, Joanne 24, Ohio 11. They love this wheel. We do it on other shows for door prizes. Jason 26, Fleetwood Paranormal 42. Well, they really want to get a reading, don't you? All right, War Criminal 13. All right, here we go. The wheel's going and spinning, and here it goes. Let's see who the lucky winner is. And it is 32. Let's see who's number 32. I didn't somebody pick that? I think so, didn't they?
I see one that Kathy A has it, but I don't know if she was first with it.
Is Kathy A the only 32?
I'm scrolling back up through. It looks like it.
All right, Kathy A. Let me click on your name. All right, here. Yeah, looks like that's it, isn't it? Yep, Kathy A. All right, Kathy A. Let me get rid of the camera. Let me make her big, and voila. So they love my little wheel. So we do this on other shows for door prizes, though.
That's nice.
All right, Kathy A. Yes. All right, so.
And does Kathy have a question?
All right, let me put this up and we'll scroll down. All right, Cassie, do you have a question? Let me scroll all the way down. You're welcome, Cassie. Congratulations. So any questions specifically? Any questions? Everybody's like, good luck, Cassie. All right, let me put this up out of the way. All right. She says nothing specific. It's all you.
Okay.
All right.
All right, here we go.
Oh, yeah, Fleetwood. We use it on other shows for door prizes. So no money involved. So
Yeah.
Don't think that. All right. Get rid of these real quick.
Okay, I lay out a few cards because I like a little bit of meat in my story. So let's see here. All right, Kathy, it does look like here, I did, for the heart of the matter here, I do have where I have the Pentacles here, the King of Pentacles. And that tells me here that you're going to be doing something and stepping up as far as, you know, a financial situation. It's becoming more dominant for you. And it looks like here you're just kind of taking a chance and just kind of stepping out in faith. You're going, ooh, I got chills. You're going to be really proud of yourself when you do this. So whatever came up, it looks, I would say probably recently something new just came up because you have double aces here. And this is around a financial situation, also around money of pentacles, with also the Ace of Swords here, which represents the courage to move forward with a possible contract. And it does look like here it's going to be successful for you. Do not doubt yourself, but you do have to let go of things from the past, though, okay, hon? Because you cannot hold on to the past and still move forward. It will just keep you in limbo. Okay, so let go of the past, release it. You don't need closure. You just create your own closure. And it does look like here with that, it's going to, once you do that, it looks like here, things are going to be more comfortable around the home. You're going to be, if this is you investing in the home and improving the home, then great. It looks successful. I also do see you have 2 ways and 2 forms of an income coming in, financial income. And it does look like here with this success for you. It does look like here there's going to be some kind of messages coming in for you. And it does look here good news is coming in. And it's probably going to be around the time frame of Leo. So just kind of pay attention to that, because then I see you making definite strides towards successful financial situation. And it does look like here maybe you haven't seen it yet, or you don't know about it yet, but just hold on, and because the moon card is here saying these are things that are of the unknown, and which means behind the scenes yet. So just keep moving forward, whatever you're planning on as far as a financial situation, because I got the double aces right here, and this tells me you are becoming more dominant in that and taking a chance on something new. So again, I've got, the 4 of rods and the 9 of pentacles, which tells me that this is something, it's going to be something around the home. Either you're buying a new home or you're fixing up your home, but, or this is going to be a business within your home. But it is definitely something more positive for you, that you are definitely taking a chance on a fresh start, just kind of leap of faith. And it says, do not hesitate, because this is just a leap of faith. Just kind of listen to your intuition. It's going to guide you. And, yes, it's going to be exciting, because I feel excited. I'm like getting this energy about it. So it does look like here, the actions that you're going to be taking are going to be successful. And it's going to probably be within around 5 months or by the 5th month that I think you are going to be really successful, because I've got the 5 of pentacles in the time slot. Plus I also have the star card right here, which shows success around this idea that you're working on. And I'll leave that with you, Hannah. I hope that helps.
And Kathy A says, so true on financial and letting go. You're spot on. Awesome. Yeah, see? Congratulations there. Hello, Little Twisted. Mort says, you're always spot on there. You always rock. Yes. So awesome. Kathy A says, super, thank you. So yes. So yeah, it's lovely. You do a great reading. You got good energy too, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. So as you're
now?
I'm thinking about it.
Why are you so Tracy does.
All right,
but you're
ahead.
nervous. Yeah, don't be nervous.
Do me. I'll do it. I'll take it.
You want one?
Sure.
Are we going to focus on anything in particular, or are we just doing a general?
Just a general. So yeah, that's fine.
General.
Well, you know what? Music. Yeah.
Is this your music career?
Yeah.
Ooh, they're telling me yes already. So just have.
I know. I felt it. He's getting real excited now.
So yeah, they're already like, woohoo! Yeah, they're saying move forward, and they're showing me the Fool card, which represents a new beginning and just having a leap of faith in yourself and just stepping forward, because it's all going to just flow as it's meant to. But I do see it hasn't happened yet, because that shows that right there. And it's saying their celebration is on its way. You've had your little bumps and bruises, and it shows here, right here, there's lessons being learned. But with those lessons, it's kind of, you're going to be learning, taking those lessons and moving forward from there. That's going to be your guide as to, where you're going in your career and what the right steps are. Everyone has bumps and bruises, right? But it's saying here, just kind of relax. No stressing, because you're going to be doing positive things with yourself and being proud of yourself. It's all about choices here, and you're very intuitive. So it's saying here, listen to your intuition. And I think probably around the time frame of, you might have already started this in the time frame of Aries, maybe even sooner, as soon as Capricorn, because they're bringing up Capricorn. But it's going to be probably coming into fruition for you around the time frame of Virgo, because I do see there is somebody here possibly with an possible initial of an MNAT, possible initial around this. Where you're going to be, they're going to be helping you probably even sign. I feel like you're making a decision and possibly signing of papers. So, because there's an offer coming to you from somewhere. I don't know exactly where, but it's saying here, don't doubt yourself. Okay. You feel insecure about these things, and you really don't need to, because you're really talented. They're saying you're very talented, actually. So, so just, you need to move forward with it. Just have faith in yourself. you got swords here, but swords can represent insecurities and conflicts and things like that, but they also represent courage. So just keep moving forward with your passion and take the steps that you need, because it's going to flow. And, you might have a setback once in a while, but that just means you're going to, charge forward more when the timing is right. It just means maybe, it wasn't this person or this specific place that this is going to happen. And that's okay. Keep moving forward. They're saying, keep moving forward, keep going, because there is definitely some new beginnings here for you, successful beginnings. And it looks like here, possible contract, something's being definitely offered to you around this. So, but I see you stressing a lot. Stop stressing. Okay. Because that's just blocking it. So just have faith, keep moving forward, and plug it on.
Stress is my middle name, so that's it.
It's real funny, and I tease Tracy all the time, is that him and his wife, he'll mute me, and I'm like, I can still hear you, right?
Yeah. No, thank you very much for that.
You're welcome.
It is appreciated, and I love.
And when it happens, it's going to happen fast, hon. So expect these changes.
Awesome.
Again, we're getting double Virgo time.
Well, I hope so. Yeah.
So yeah.
Awesome. See, it's not as bad as what you think.
Mm-hmm. No, thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. It does build up positive vibes in myself, right? And just so everybody out there knows that success is measured in many different ways, and so I'm very open-minded to different types of success. It's not always the guy out there singing; it's the guys behind the line too, right? So, no, thank you for that.
And stop being so hard on yourself.
Yeah. Sound like my wife.
That's funny. I love it.
No, thank you so much for that.
You're welcome, hon.
So I'm gonna quit my job. I'm done.
Okay.
Yeah. There you go. Call your wife up. I just quit my job.
Yeah. No, hey, thank you. That's appreciated.
Yeah, that's great. So everybody's asking, how do they reach out to you? We usually do it at the end of the show, but I put in the comments, how does everybody reach out to get a hold of you to do readings and so forth?
You can reach out to me through onae.org. That's ONAE.org. That's my website. And I have you can choose a half hour or an hour currently, whichever way you'd like to do it. And then if you're going to have more than one question, I recommend an hour, because the half hour just goes by like that.
It really does.
Yeah, it does. And then, but you can also reach me, through my through my Facebook page as well. So, which is
awesome.
Onae Shinn. So, or Onae, I guess Onae, or Tarot by Onae. I've got like so many out there. I'm like, but yeah, just Google me. You can go. I'm Googleable.
Yeah, you're Googleable too, right?
Until I got, I was like talking with Doug Carnahan. I don't know if you know Doug or remember Doug, because he's passed away a couple of years ago, and we were setting up an event, and he's like, "Did you Google me?" And I'm like, no, I didn't even think about it, because I don't think to Google people or anything. I forget that we even have Google. And he's like, "Well, I Googled you." And I'm like, "I'm Googleable?" And I'm like, oh, okay. So yeah, you can just find me. That's where I'm at online.
Yeah. Cindy's asking, do you use certain decks of cards?
I was raised with the Rider-Waite, so I kind of stick with that base. Like right now, like this is the Hanson Roberts, and I love it. It's just so pretty. But what I love mostly about it is that it can fit in my hand and my purse, and because I never go anywhere without my cards. I have them with me all the time. But yeah, I stick with the Hanson Roberts for the most part, but otherwise I was raised with the Rider-Waite. So as long as it has the Rider-Waite base, or like kind of has that as the main function of it, then and because I really don't even really necessarily need cards, I just kind of use them.
Yeah, they're just tools.
Yeah.
Because
I don't even really know all the meanings of the cards, at all, because you don't even necessarily need them, because when the messages are just kind of downloading, you might you see this card right here, and maybe that bird will stick out, and will pop out like a 3D kind of on you, and then you're just kind of like, oh, there's a bird here, blah blah blah, and then you just kind of move forward with whatever the message is at. So they're just there, they're pretty.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, but before we had for tonight, I googled you just to see what all you had out there. So yeah, you do have a lot of a lot of different places that you're on. So that's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. I'm accessible.
So we haven't dove too much into the paranormal side of things. Um, so you're a medium.
Mhm.
Do you get asked a lot to go on any investigations?
Yes, I do. Actually, I just got asked to go on one just yesterday, actually, by a client of mine. So, because they're really into that, but they need a medium on their team. So they asked me if I would join them. I said I can do a few. Not like I'm not. It's not like my passion. It's just I happen to be born paranormal, so I have the ability to communicate with those that people can't hear and see. So, but it's not my passion is more of helping, giving healing
Yeah.
messages. So, but yeah, I have fun. It's fun. Yeah.
So have you been on any that just kind of scared the heck out of you, or thought, wow, this is way too creepy? Can you?
Yeah. But the ones, I mean, I'm not creeped out completely. They're kind of creepy. They really are. But when you're with other people, it's not as scary. But what really frightens me is when the person I'm with or somebody in the group that I'm with antagonizes the spirits.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then I get like a icky feeling. Then I feel like I'm being followed, or just and I really don't like that. I don't like, because then it gets aggressive, and I'm not there to open myself, because I can channel, so spirits and energies can jump inside me, um, and it scares some people out because they think I'm being possessed by demons or something, but I'm not. I'm just channeling the energy, and so my voice and my face kind of change on people, and they're like, whoa, what's going on? But I don't like to open myself up and be vulnerable to that so much. So when someone's challenging something, I'll communicate with the spirit. But when you're challenging it and you're being negative and you're taunting it, then it kind of gets it angry. And I'm just like, you got to respect them. And because maybe they're not so vulnerable themselves, but I am. And I don't like that. And I wouldn't like someone coming into my house anyway and like being like, hey, when did you die? Well, I'm dead. Oh, holy crap. Well, or what color is your favorite color? Who are you? I'm like, you're in my house, get out, and then they're like,
Yeah.
oh my God, it's get out. They said get out. Well, yeah, you're being a pain in the ass. Oops, I shouldn't have said that.
So that being said, has there ever been anything you've just, even whether it's investigating or not, right? Just walking up to a place and you're like, hey, I'm not going in there. Have you ever had that type of feeling?
Yeah. There's some places, especially well, because I don't do too many because it is kind of creepy. But yeah, there was this one event that I was supposed to be doing, and with that, I flew to Minnesota. I flew to be at this event, but the whole week before the event, um, I was getting this weird feeling. Something kept saying, "Don't go, don't go." I'm like, "Well, I already
Oh,
promised."
wow.
Oh, and it's been scheduled for over 6 months. I got to go to this thing. We've been working on this thing, and so I flew there. And I even called my girlfriend from at the airport. I'm like, oh my gosh, I have this horrible feeling. You know what? Just if I don't survive this plane ride, please just tell my kids I love them. And I didn't want to call my kids and scare them, but I was like, and just make sure you stay in their lives so that my grandkids can know like about their grandma, and then I went on the plane and I survived. I got off. So I was like, called my girlfriend. I was like, well, it wasn't that. So I survived the plane ride. So it wasn't that. And so then and we had like a few more days before the event was actually to happen. And it kept saying, get in the car and go home, get in the car and go home. And I'm just like, oh my God, this has never happened to me this bad before. So yeah, I got to the point where it's like the day before the event, I was like, I had to tell everybody, I'm like, yeah, I got to go home. Something is not right. And I don't know what it is, but it's been bugging me since before. I mean, I was having anxiety driving to the airport. It was to the point where it's like,
Wow.
yeah, I had to take a Valium. So, but yeah. And then the worse, the closer we got to it, I had such anxiety, and it's something in my head just kept bugging me and bugging me. And of course, I don't know what it was because I left. I actually listened to my intuition or the messages coming through. And I've never done that. I've always been like, yeah, I'll be fine. I'll be fine. I'm strong. I can handle this. But not that one. That was scared the crap out of me. So yeah, I don't even know what it was. Supposed to be an old farmhouse that we were supposed to go in the basement, and there's like this like hole in the wall in the basement, and I never went. So I don't know what could have happened, but I listened to my intuition and didn't go. And that was like the one time. I mean, and that's pretty severe for me to like fly somewhere. I spent the money to fly there, and we had this thing planned for months, and yeah,
That's
it was supposed to be a live thing on StreamYard and live, going live on Facebook and everything, and yeah.
Denise is asking, have you ever had a spirit that followed you home?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's why I don't like to like antagonize. I like, I like the milder spirits, So, but yeah, I've got, wherever I go, it's like I'm in a brand new build home. I just bought a house and moved to Arizona City, and even here as I move into this house, stuff's happening. So yes, things follow me and they hang out with me. So yeah, but
Interesting.
I've lived in haunted houses my whole no matter where I went. And it turns out, I think I'm the conduit to bring them. I bring them with me.
Yeah, I can see that. Absolutely.
So you're a pastor as well.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So what made you decide to get into that? And is that something recent, or have you been doing that for a long time as well?
Oh, I've done that a long time ago. Yeah. With the church that I grew up in when I lived in Tucson, I was 17 and I grew up in a spiritual metaphysical church, and I love the way that, the healing and the love and the energy. And I love the way that they helped me, and I wanted to help others. And with all my abilities, I do healing hands. I, do psychic messages. I do card readings. I have other ways of doing this, but also at the same time, I like to help people just through counseling, spiritual guidance, and because sometimes that's all they really need. Someone might be struggling with something and they just need someone to listen to them or guide them just gently in, loving energy. But and I've been able to just kind of help others that way. And I just wanted to share that. So by being a minister, I became eventually the head pastor of that church. So I retired because it wasn't fun being a head pastor. I like being, a little bit more like less, out there. So.
No, I agree. Understood. So
Joanne's asking, what about the Winchester Mystery House?
Joe. That was so fun. Oh my gosh. And I'm getting chills. Was his name George? I think his name was George. And he was in the basement, and it was just the most fun event ever. We drove like 13 hours nonstop to get to the Winchester house. And then the energies there were amazing. But there was this one guy with one energy. He was down in the basement. He was by the coal chute. And I guess he worked there, in the coal chute at one time. And he was this energy. And then someone had a camera on me where it was like, those little dot and little stick figure people.
Yeah, SLS.
I don't know the names of these.
Yes.
Equipment, but yeah, someone had their little equipment aimed at me, and they could see, and because I was like dancing and answering, and I was just talking with this person, answering questions that I thought I was hearing, and and talking, and there was this energy that they saw the stick figure dancing with me on this machine. So it was, and because I was dancing, I was like, oh, I feel like I'm dancing, when you dance. And and his name was, I think it was George, but it was so fun. It was, and Joe was asking me questions. She was like asking me questions, and then I'd answer them because she was asking George basically the questions, and I was just answering, George was answering through me. It was so fun. Yeah. So if you go to the Winchester house, you go down to the basement to the, at least this is where he was when I was there. He was right by the coal chute, and it was amazing. It was a really fun experience. I highly recommend it.
No, that's cool. That's a cool story. Always wanted to go to that Winchester house. I thought that'd be neat. Did you get to see all the doors that you walk to and there's nothing behind them or goes outside, stuff like that?
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah, you got to watch out because like the doors lead to like where you're just gonna like drop off. You know.
Drop off. Yeah.
Yeah. There's been a lot of movies about that place too. That's cool. One day I'll make it out there. What about you, Grizz? You gonna make it out there?
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. Yeah.
It is. It's full of energy, and it's just and you know, it's so full of spirits too because and every room is a different energy. Just so you know, and you're gonna like. I can't even explain it. It's just something you have to live through and experience yourself. But the basement was where I got the most activity. Because, you know, and again, you got to remember it's more like when you're on these big events where there's a lot of people and a lot of energy, as medium, you have to kind of like try to like hold it in, like, you know, and put your little bubble up so you're not overwhelmed with everybody's energy. But so you could like kind of decipher whose energy is what and where, you know, and who's communicating with you. But it's really fun. It really is. It's definitely an experience I recommend for everybody.
Val's asking, have you ever been to the Stanley Hotel?
I have not yet.
Yet.
Well, what are you thinking, Grizz?
Yes, absolutely. It's been fantastic. I really appreciate you joining us tonight. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the invite. It's been an honor. It was nice
great.
meeting both of you.
Great interview.
Yes. And once again, where can they find you and reach out to you again?
You can reach me at onae.org. That's ONAE.org. And you can also find me on Facebook at Onae Shinn, SHINN. And also you can find me at Tarot by Onae. And also you can find me on TikTok, which is Onae Psychic Medium. And then also on Instagram is Onae18. I don't know why. I don't know why it's 18, but it gave me Onae 18, so whatever. So
awesome. Thank you so much. And ladies and gentlemen, don't forget at 9:00 tonight, a family in Kentucky is being harassed by a juvenile Bigfoot, and another family in Kentucky is being harassed by a Bigfoot family. So stay tuned for that. We're going to disclose where that's at and what's going on. So we'll see you shortly. Thank you again, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you in a few minutes. Bye-bye.